This is a note for all of you guys watching. It's a great thing to help out. But here we are. We are now entering this next game. It is going to be an amazing, amazing game, and a really important one for the person in the top right that we are spawning on top of. It is LgN.AuRora, the orange Zerg in the top right, going up against none other than SlayerS.Eve. The pink Terran in the bottom left is now down 0-1. AuRora could pull off a big upset, taking down the Korean pro that is coming in for her first major tournament. You guys should go ahead and vote for who you think you're going to win. SlayerS.TV/vote. But more important than that, Facebook.com/Legion, Facebook.com/ESLIronLady. Go ahead and get your name in there to try and win a Hellion Gaming mouse. That thing is so cool. I want one. You all should want one. Go ahead and get your name in there for the raffle.
Yeah, and don't forget that if you get one, you should totally upgrade it to Blue Flame Hellions.
Yes.
Get those blue flames rolling. That would actually be so sick if there was a way to upgrade your mouse. Anyway, so another game, TVZ, which is a lot of people's favorite matchup in mine too. Not to play, but to watch. Because to play, I don't feel comfortable. This is my worst matchup. But to watch, it is definitely the most entertaining.
It really is one of the most mechanically demanding matchups out there. There is so much aggression, and from the Terran standpoint, you've got to try and prevent the drone. You need to be aggressive, work the Zerg down, try and deny expansions, drop, hit multiple places at once, and just really keep your aggression, at the very least threat, if not actual attacks, up against the Zerg, so they can't get that economy that they really strive for. You have to be really careful when it gets to the hive tech of the Zergs. You have to know about the Broodlords, the Ultras, what's going to be coming in. And on the flip side, Zerg has to try and deal with all that aggression. He needs to try and work on winning. They can get their drones out safely, get the good army engagements, and deal with really nice entrenched siege tanks, strong armies, marine splitting. It's so difficult on both sides of the matchup, and that's why it's so pleasurable to watch really strong TVZ players play.
Yeah, well, what we see from AuRora right now is a a standard fast expansion. It's pretty, no big surprise right there. Followed by a spawning pool. She hasn't been, it's a big map, so it's actually really safe. And meanwhile, we got Eve going for probably a Hellion opening. I don't know if she's gonna follow it up by what she tried last time against, who was it? I'm sorry. But she did the Hellion Marauder.
Yeah, that's what's on Antigua.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting her name. But yeah, that could happen, but I don't think it's as good of a map to do it.
The long rush distance can make it very hard, and the fact that there's a ramp in front of the natural expansion can kind of give a little bit of a defensive positional advantages for the Zerg at this point. Getting down a few spawn crawlers in nice spots would be very good, but if AuRora then overextends herself and doesn't get quite the right position, we can see the Hellion just go straight into the main base, and that could be devastating. But right now, we do see Eve getting the full scout into the main base, and looking at the fact that AuRora is not mining gas, so she doesn't really have to worry about crazy Baneling busts.
Yeah, totally. Well, it seems like Eve is going for the exact opening she did the same time, but the question is, now she's getting a tech lab. I think she's doing the same. It seems like the same build. I am actually looking forward to see it. Will she get Stim and Marauders with 2 more barracks, or will she switch it up and transition it into siege tanks and bioplay?
Yeah, it's a great transition. Because when you swap the barracks and the factory, the tech lab and the reactor, you can get double marines out, and you can easily just use the tech lab at first for stim, get all those upgrades into play, add on more barracks, get everything else, and you can immediately have the tech lab on top of the factory, get your siege mode, your siege tanks, and you can lead into nice timings and multiple tech patterns when you have that ability to switch around the tech labs and reactors efficiently.
And we got the first 2 Hellions trying to come in, trying to see if they can harass anything. Getting a couple of shots off on the Queens. Oh, really nice placement by AuRora. This choke is gonna be tiny. Those Hellions are probably not gonna be able to get in if AuRora doesn't, like, I don't know, forget to pay attention.
Yeah. The great thing that I like the most about Aurora is the fact that she has 4 queens out. Full wall in the front made of 3 queens of spine in the hatch. You can easily not lose any spine larva injects because of the position of those queens. The one in the main will happily just vomit away. Things are looking solid from her. We do see Marauders, Stim, Hellions coming in from Eve. So she is once again trying to be aggressive, but Aurora has a beautiful defensive position.
And she's opting to go for a Roach Warren, which is obviously very effective against Hellion, a little bit less against Marauder, but she does need something to deal with this, and I think especially with that wall positioning, that's a pretty decent choice.
Yep. Because
she needs beefy unit to hold this.
Yeah, and Aurora's gonna actually continue trying to spread her creep, which is very difficult to do when you have a bunch of Hellions in the front. If you take a look at the Marauder count, it is pretty minimal as of right now, as you literally just have 2, but it's preparing for the attacks to be really, really deadly. The big thing is that Aurora's not going to be able to get expansion out for a little bit of time, as Eve's got a very nice presence on the map with these Hellions. Like her gets Mira get fully surrounded by Lings. That's actually less of a worry, because right now we're having Aurora coming out with a ton of Roaches, and that's even worse than a good Ling surround against those Hellions.
Well, yeah, if she doesn't pay attention, but at least now she can escape. That's the good news for Eve. Also, she's not actually doing the same build as last time. Yes, she did get a couple Marauders, but she's transitioning into siege tanks, as well as most likely Medivacs. I don't see why she would be doing Vikings at this point. Maybe one to pick off Overlords, but apart from that, I don't think this will happen. So yeah, quite different build this time. I like it. I like that she's going for siege tanks, because I was wanting to see her go siege, because we haven't seen that. Well, we saw her made 2, but I'd like to see more from her, especially considering that her mentor is Boxer, and he's like really good at he's good with siege tanks. That's what I want to say.
He's really good with everything. But take a look at the fact that Aurora is just now getting her 3rd base. 10 minutes in, it's not really too big of a deal in terms of a late expansion or anything. It's just Zerg would always want to be able to get that faster 3rd. The presence of Eve's Hellions really denied the possibility of even getting those rocks shut down so that the expansion could go down faster. But Eve now knows the timing of this 3rd and has a good idea of what the capabilities of Aurora's army composition could really be right now. And we do see Aurora's prepping up for it, the good old standard Zerg play. Bailing Nest is coming down. We don't see any lair tech really being gotten except for the centrifugal hooks and an overseer for scouting.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I'm actually wondering what type of is Eve gonna transition into Thors, or is she still gonna keep up the tanks? I guess it's gonna come down to what she scouts, because she's preparing in case of needing Thors. I see her getting an armory right now. She's also getting combat shields. She's getting all of like those important upgrades right now.
Yep. A really big thing though is also getting that +1 attack. If you are going to stick with siege tanks, you really need to get that +1 attack so you can one-shot Zerglings. When you have Zerglings with a +1 carapace and tanks with no attack upgrades, it takes 2 shots from a siege mode tank to kill off a Zergling. So when you get that +1 attack, you're guaranteed to one-shot Zerglings. That's a really, really big important factor for those big Zergling against Terran battles.
Yeah, you're totally right. And right now we see that Eve is moving around the map with her Hellions. She's gonna try to see if she can harass the 3rd. It's probably not gonna work because the roaches are waiting for her right there. I really love Aurora's positioning. Like, everything is so perfect. Like, the Roach Warren is blocking the natural. Like, everything is so well positioned. I just can't get over it. I've seen her play in the past, and that's like one of her strengths against Terran, is that she just gets the right angles for herself, whether it's by getting like buildings or just attacking at the right angles. That's one of her strengths, I think.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm looking around at the infrastructure from Aurora. It's looking to be very, very solid. The infestation pit's not going down. And the fungals are going to be really, really key for shutting down the presence of these Hellions, because they're just not dying. They're moving around their map, doing a great job of denying vision, taking control of watchtowers, and both these players are going to be very, very strong in terms of the infrastructure that they are going for.
Yep, indeed they are. And now I'm wondering who's going to decide to be aggressive first. It seems like Aurora is gearing up for maybe an attack. She's getting Bane. She has a Baneling speed. She just made a bunch of Banelings. She's also taking a fourth, which is pretty ballsy. But meanwhile, Eve did take a third, so it does make sense. Because as Zerg, you, if you can, you'd like to stay up one base. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it makes sense. But she hasn't scouted the third. She still thinks that there are rocks there. She's got to start getting information that's really, really necessary. We do see the divisions being denied from Zergnas trying to get that scout information. Looks like Eve wanted to do a drop, but kind of had to abandon it because of the units that are here at that fourth base. And Aurora's got a great Overlord placement here, though it is vulnerable to a drop of Marines there. It's going to be nice, but whoa, we got a cloud of Overlords over here that's vulnerable.
I was looking at that and I was like, that seems so vulnerable. Like, one Viking could have a lot of fun right there.
Yep. And now we have so many Banes. They're going all roly-poly, and they're just fun to look at. I'm going to do this every single time Banes come up, because they just look at them, guys, and enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Okay, a couple of Zerglings are going to run around and get that scouting information. They're going to move here. They're going to see this PF and the missile turret, so there's going to be no chance for any kind of harassment down here through Lings or Burrowed Infestor trying to throw down those infested Terrans and the Fungals. That is going to be a bad move for them if they're going to go ahead and try and get that going down. But right now, Aurora, Glitter Constitution for Roach is sitting down. Passion Glance almost done. 11 Infestors are on the way, and that's going to be devastating when they can pop.
Yeah, it actually might be devastating, but I'm wondering if Eve wants to gear up for an attack. She's like moving around with her Bioforce, but without the siege tanks. Oh, and here are the siege tanks. They're incoming. Okay, now it makes more sense. I was just wondering what she was doing chilling in the middle of the night. I was like, well, it's good for mobility, but if you want to push, you're gonna need your siege tanks.
Yep. She actually did a drop in top middle to shut down a couple stuff. She's actually leaving this Overlord alive, but is kind of shutting down a lot of the options down there, while now pushing to the bottom. We're going to see the siege mode's going down, but Aurora maybe trying to punish this, but we see a nice scan taking down a creep tomb, whereas this drop is just sitting there waiting to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to force the units out. But Aurora is going to move in right now and go work on for a huge engagement. Ah, I can't take the UI.
What did you say?
I can't take away the UI. Control W to take away the UI to show you the big attack would be nice. But right now, Aurora is going down with a ton of Lings. Going to move in and start engaging this Planetary Fortress. If Eve even does realize his vulnerability, is now going to start repairing that PF, looking very, very nice. And the PF is not going to be falling down, but a good amount of SCVs do fall. This drop did take down that the Overlord down there. We see that Aurora's now killed a fair amount of SCVs.
I think actually what she was wanting to do is to clear up some supply in order to be able to make a couple mutas or brutes.
Yep, the hive is done. Spire's almost done. We do not see Ultra's Cavern. Well, Ultra's Cavern is actually about to be thrown down, so we are going to see Aurora's going to be able to move in, do whatever she wants. We're going to see the Lings are going to be able to shut down that drop threat anymore. Right down the back, Spine Crawler even rooted as well to add some more DPS, but it looks like we're going to see the push out. Oh, a bunch of free Overlords.
Do you see all those Burrowed Infestors? Oh my god.
Oh, this could be really devastating. We're going to see them going up the Banes. We see the scan, though, and the Infestors all dead. The Infestors are all dead. That is a huge blow.
6 scan coming from Eve. She saw those Infestors, and that is such a blunder for the Zerg player. Now she's found so much supply. This is the time for Eve to move forward. The Zerg doesn't have anything. She was also taking a lot, so she's like not really allowed for this push right now. Without all of those Infestors, I'm not sure if she can hold. She's gonna have to play really well from now on, because this is looking pretty grim. Except those Banelings, if they connect, oh my god, this could do so much damage. Look at those Burrowed Banelings.
Oh, they're waiting, but they're just a couple hexes too high. And I don't think he's gonna move into. Look, Aurora has them selected. She's waiting for them to push forward, and there we get a nice explosion there, killing a lot of those Marines. But still, Eve is in a nice entrenched spot. We do see the Greater Spires almost done. The Ultra Caverns getting down. The Chitin is plating, and if you take a look at the upgrades for these Lings, they are 2-2. They're gonna be 3-3 very shortly. Plus, they have the Adrenal Glands.
Yeah, but it's still, this push from Eve is looking so strong right now. Yes, Aurora did remake a couple units, but This is like really intense. If Eve can control it and not miss micro, I think she could win it right there.
Yeah, she has a distinct advantage right now. We do see those Banes. If those Banes can connect on those Marines effectively, though, oh, Aurora can do so much damage. It looks like they're going to get just exactly that damage. Look at all of those massively dead just Marines. And we see that Eve takes a lot of losses to Marine count, but that's okay because they're expendable. They just did not quite get a ton of damage done. Right now, Eve's going to push forward. She's got a lot of damage. She can remax very quickly as we're watching so much damage just being done.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, but she is not sieged right now, so she's actually taking a lot of damage from the Zerglings. All the tanks are going down, as well as the Marines. The Medivacs are going to be able to escape. That's a good save there, but this actually hurts quite a bit and kind of resets the... This push is not going to be able to do much from now on. No siege tanks means very vulnerable Taurs and Marines right there.
Yeah, and Eve does have her 4th base now up and running, though. No gas is mining yet, but doesn't really need the gas. More minerals are wishing. But now you see her scanning and taking out a bunch of drones. That is a loss that Aurora is not going to enjoy having. But we have 5 for the Ultras and Brutes coming out. This is what Aurora was planning to do and waiting for. Eve does have a few Thors on the field, but there's no attack damage for them. Those Lings have carapace upgrades. They're not going to die to one shot from siege tanks. We're going to see them pushing forward like they want to engage. But if you look at Eve's vision, she now knows about the base that she's trying to take. We'll not be able to take it, but now we're going to watch as all these Ultras are going to be a little more. We're going to see a nice spread from those Marines, maybe, or not.
It's got still good micro, but yeah, this doesn't look so good right now for our sweet parent player. Well, she's not out of this yet though. But the Zorg has so many awesome units, guys. Ultralisk and Broodlords at the same time. Just saying.
Yeah, that's devastating. But we now have the Vikings, and with all the Infestors killed earlier, these Broodlords are going to be dead without really much support. We're going to see the 3 Infestors trying to waddle their way forward, but they're not going to do much damage. So they just go ahead and try and cast them a fungal. It's unclear, but this is now just a scouting orbital command sitting over the hatchery.
Yeah, and meanwhile, it seems like Aurora is gearing up for an attack on the 4th of Eve, but I'm not sure yet. I guess we're gonna see where she wants to attack to, I think. Oh, she seems to be deciding to go for the natural, but then changing her mind. She's a little bit indecisive right now, but I get it.
So many Ultras, but look at the fungals. There is quite literally only one fungal available right now. In 5 seconds there'll be another fungal, but one fungal's not too much. If Eve can go ahead and spread her Marines, the fact that she's stimming and running in, this is an empty bunker. We're going to see this base go, oh, huge fungal. All those 2 fungals do now land. Oh, the time that we now Eve's got a lot of losses on the Marine count, but these are now unsupported Ultras, and they are getting picked off. The Oracle Command falls though, so Aurora has taken down that base. This is dead solitude.
Yeah, this actually is doing quite a bit of damage, but then again, the Zerg is still down in supply. Is she gonna be able to go through SlayerS.Eve? I'm not so sure. SlayerS.Eve is still pretty solid in her base. The supplies are pretty evened out right now. Everything is like settling in the sort of I don't know, semi-equal.
Alright. But there were Vikings attacks over there that killed off that bottom right base. And if you look down here in the way bottom right, Eve does have an Oracle Command Center over there, but look at this force of Aurora. We have Cracklings and Ultras all fully upgraded. These are going to be devastating. The thing is, we have a PF down here at the bottom that can't really be engaged. So Aurora's going to continue pushing in to try and move in, and there it is going to be going, attacking. And those vehicles now have that +1 attack. We're seeing a big fungal going down, but these Thors and Marines and Marauders that are ripping through the Ultras, and Aurora cannot take that battle.
Yeah, it's starting to look good for SlayerS.Eve, but then again, the Zerg has so many bases.
Oh, but these bases are getting shut down. We see the mid-right, the Viking harass is now landing in and shutting down that entire mine in the mid-right. It looks like Eve with this harassment, these Vikings are being so key. Great use is being made of them, even without Broodlords on the field.
Yeah, I really like how she's using them. Like, she's not just like chilling around. She's probably, if she finds that big Overlord cloud that we were talking earlier, that could potentially supply block Aurora actually quite a bit. I don't know how many Overlords she has, but it could supply her like greatly.
Yep, and I actually have an SCV transfer to the bottom right. We see Eve with a ton of mules down there, looking to be quite solid. Aurora is expanding once again into the top left. We are in a seriously crazy game right now. The Ultras are still on the field, and just look at Eve's medevac count. There are 9 medevacs just running around, ready to heal, and Aurora is now going to go ahead and start harassing this bottom right. Oh, so many mules and SCVs are about to fall.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty dramatic for Eve, and now she's moving forward with just her medevac, trying to be intimidating or something. Oh my god, oh yeah, she was trying to catch the Zerg if she was trying to escape there, but there's another way to escape, so the Zerg is not trapped. Do not fear for Aurora.
And a drop shuts down a top left expansion. Oh, now we're seeing all the units are being moved around for free, and we're going to have Stim running. The front Ultra does get targeted down. The bottom one's not going to go down. That is a loss that Aurora cannot afford. We see the
I
ambush.
actually don't know why she didn't check before like committing to that pathway. I mean, there's 2 pathways. She could have taken the other one. I guess she's just nervous.
This is being handled really well. We do see that Eve's now going to be moving in. Those Marines are in such an annoying spot for those Lynx to deal with, and the Marines barely take that victory. A couple of them are quite damaged. We're going to see a spy call getting thrown down, and that drone almost died. Moving down there, we see expansions going down once again in those bases, but burrowed Zergling's actually under there to stop that Volvo from landing.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. But now Eve is moving forward for with quite a scary push, considering the supply of the Zerg player and her resources. This might actually hurt Aurora quite a bit. She's also losing a little bit of Zerglings right there. She's trying to do a run by, but this is failing horribly.
There's just a train of Terran units just happily having target practice.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh sweet, we can... Exactly. Well, she's gonna be able to force a lift on the command center. That's one thing she got going for her. But now she doesn't even have enough units to hold this, apparently.
Yeah, we see fungals are being landed quite nicely. There are a couple of brood lords in the mix, but there's so many Marines. The Marines themselves are going to target down, and GG gets called. Great game for game number 2. We are now going to a deciding game number 3. That was quite a series so far. We've got more because it's not done. You guys are enjoying because this is Eve versus Aurora in the Iron Lady Cup.